Hello there, everyone. All right, we've got Red Hulk Fractured Frontier. So quite an interesting card. Maybe not the best, but it's got some interesting capabilities, this. So, as you can see, text, well, let's go for cost and power, first of all. 3 cost, 8 power. Quite significant, if you're asking me. We've only got Starbrand that's higher, and we've got Gladiator that's equal. That is at base level. Now, when we look at the on reveal, it can go below base level. So on reveal, -1 power for each enemy card here. That can be a bit of an awkward one. We had a few games where that was going to happen, so you do want to be aware about it. But we also got the quick draw mechanic, which is +1 power instead. So this card has the capability of being a 3/4 or a 3/12. So it's actually quite potent. I mean, you think a 3/12 is very nice. So I don't know what to make of this card, in all honesty. I feel like it's got some very good highs, but the lows are also quite... You don't really want the lows, let's be real. So let's show you some kooks I came up with. So it's worth pointing out, first of all, that in this video, you're going to see 3 decks, and you're going to see 15 games across all 3. Or it might have been 16 in the end. This for me was the best performing one. It's the one that we started on. So Shadowlands Hulk. Now, I didn't change anything from the preview video, so it's what you saw there. You could probably take a few things out, depending on what your personal flavour is. As I mentioned at the time, Karen Page could probably come out, so could OG Juggernaut, if you wanted to go for a goose kind of shell. But honestly, you don't need to make those changes. This actually worked quite nicely. Now, I actually did like Juggernaut, Horseman, or War in here. I feel like being able to build that up to a 2/8 was quite nice. It was quite achievable as well. Luke Cage was great, so that if you did have to play Red Hulk Fractured Frontier down and you knew you were going to have to play it in a location with cards, you were able to make sure at least it didn't lose power. Ideally, you would be able to gain power. Also, we've got a way of buffing cards with Karen Page. Techno-Organic Virus is brilliant for getting rid of the negatives of Martyr, or maybe if we'd essentially done what we needed to do with, say, Tarantula or Red Hulk or anything like that, we could then techno that. So again, we had plenty of options in this deck for scaling our power up. Probably the one we didn't want to techno would be Luke Cage, obviously, if we got Red Hulk on the board, but that was just one instance. So yeah, I really like this shell. I'm probably going to play a bit of this on my own, to be honest, but in its own, it did all right. Now, next one. This one didn't do as well. I think you're going to see what is essentially a 1 and 4 run. And to be honest, the 1 and 4 run came as a 0 and 4 for the original deck I constructed. But then someone in chat suggested changing Ikari for Spider-Man 2099. And yeah, we got a win. So honestly, I'm putting this in here because I do want to at least showcase it in terms of what the thought process was, but we just didn't have any luck with this whatsoever. I feel like the Ikari game was probably justified in terms of we had okay games, but they were just nowhere near enough, if you like. So when I say it felt justified, it's as much because this deck shell feels good, but maybe something just needed adding to it. Maybe Scorpion, which I took out initially, needs putting back in. But then it's a question of what do you take out? I mean, maybe Cosmo. Cosmo might be the one out of this list that didn't feel as potent. But yeah, it's a very tricky one because you want 3s and 4s in the deck to essentially be playable with Zorn. So maybe Cosmo, like I say, is the one to remove, but... let me know when you're watching the gameplay. Tell me what you think. Because when you have Scorpion and when you had Spider-Man 2099 in this shell instead of Red Hulk and Ikari, it was actually a pretty smooth deck. I've played it in the past week and it was quite fun. So, again, I feel like this is quite a good deck, but maybe my results and Red Hulk's inclusion in it was just not worth it. And then the last deck you're going to be seeing, it's a Series 3 friendly Red Hulk Fractured Frontier deck. Sadly, I didn't go for a very inventive name on it. So yeah, honestly, if anyone's seen videos from around the time Marvel Snap launched publicly, this was a deck archetype that was around at the time. You've got Sauron to get rid of these negative ongoings like Typhoid Mary, Red Skull, Lizard, Ebony Maw. Just brilliant for being able to play cards out and not worry about them doing things you don't want them doing. But then we've also got Zero as a backup plan, so we've got that here for Red Hulk Fractured Frontier, just in case we aren't able to play it with a nice on reveal. We can get rid of the negative on reveal. Now, originally in this deck, we did have Crossbones. I think we might have played 1 game with it, or 2 games, I can't remember. But I put Magic in. I felt like we just needed to be able to extend the game a little bit, purely so that She-Hulk could be 0 cost on, or 0 or 1 cost on turn 7. And we could potentially do a Shuri She-Hulk Taskmaster. I don't think we actually pulled that combo off, but if I was to suggest a deck, it'd be this for that reason, so that you've got a backup in case you can't do Shuri Red Skull Taskmaster. Now, the other question in all this is, what do you do if you don't pull Shuri? And honestly, the aim of the game is to just play big boys and hope you win. It's not foolproof, so yeah, it's something that you really do need to pull the nuts sometimes. You need to be able to get the cards you want, you need to get them in the right places. We had a game where I thought it was going okay. I remember just thinking, right, we've got Enchantress, we can win the middle lane, and then as I played the Enchantress and Iron Man goes in the left lane, suddenly it feels like your game plan's falling apart. So you have moments like that where you want to feel like you're doing all right, but then it can just fall away. So again, it is a budget deck. It will have some flaws that maybe later series cards can help. For instance, something like Nightmare as a series 5 card. You could slot that in here for something like arguably Enchantress or maybe Taskmaster or Zero even. The point being, Nightmare could just give you a backup option in case you can't soar on the deck. But yeah, I do think this is an option, but let me know how you get on in the comments, folks, if you're going to give this a go. But I'm not going to go into the stats this time. Sometimes I do, but I thought this time I will show them all at the end to let you know. I've given you a rough idea of what they are anyway, but I'll come back with the final stats at the end. So hopefully I'll see you at the end. Here are the games. Oh, hang on. I just realised I didn't do any alliance selections. I forget every single time. That is kind of cool as an avatar. Not crazy, but just, you know, smidgen cool. Are we matchmaking, or is this guy disconnected? I think he's disconnected. Oh well. At least we've got a rank again. What am I now, 20,000? Yeah. Don't think I've actually played ladder for a few days now. Also, just to let you know, Stoke are playing today, so if I ever look like I'm distracted, I probably am. I'm trying my damnedest not to overcommit to the match, as it were, but here's my football team. If it wasn't for the fact that this stream is kind of locked in terms of scheduling, I would have been watching it. Okay, so I can't do that now. Okay, never mind. Oh, we got Elysium. Okay. I was weighing up to one go for a 3 cost or not. Oh. Jury. I'm playing by ear a bit here. Ooh, okay. Not ideal. Yeah, it does have that vibe that they knew people would be coming back for this, so they wanted to make sure the rewards were good. You know, and I completely respect them for doing that. You know, they could have, for lack of a better way of putting it, cheapened out. So, yeah, I appreciate that they actually have gone all in on it. Like, I was just expecting to have to get the premium track when I saw how long the reward track was. I got Hellcow in, what, 1 set of 5 games? So yeah, I was really impressed with that. It'd be nice if they kept it like that, because we do know that Second Dinner do have a thing about changing things. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to say, I'm doing my damnedest to keep an eye on. So I've got my phone on my charger and I'm just watching whenever I've got like a little chance to look out the corner of my eye. Ooh, okay. That's kind of interesting. See how that goes. That looks good to me. At least as far as I've disrupted what they wanted to do left. I mean, right. Hey. Juggernaut got his buff as well. Not bad. Victory. Okay, Toblakai. Interesting name. We've got Martyr. Go on, we'll play it there. Alright, you feeling confident, are you, Toddler? I'm not going to be silly and snap back, but it's kind of cool.
Hi, I'm Spider-Man.
Alright, it's a brand new day. I still have not seen that movie. I've already had part of it spoiled in terms of one of the characters. I only have myself to blame at that point, in the fact I haven't actually been able to go yet, but doesn't mean it isn't irritating. Yeah, it's just a shame, isn't it? But I'm hoping I can go soon. Ooh, okay, so that Tarantula hasn't popped off. Hey up, Sop, how you doing? Kinda like the idea of doing that. For myself, it hasn't been time as much as spare cash. I feel like I've been sort of having to just keep on top of things a lot the past month or so. So, in that sense, it's been a shame, but it is what it is. Let's activate that. We could do a demon Karen Page next turn. Tarantula would get little to no benefit, but I don't know why it feels good trying to challenge for Survivor's Camp. Oh, okay, we get there, Luke Cage. That's kind of good. I'm wondering if we're playing similar decks, to be honest. Venus and Scarlet Witch, okay. By the way, I'm not loving that Venus. Am I the only one who's kind of over her now? Like, very rare I'm in the camp of, okay, second inning, you can nerf that card. Do that. Let's do that for the sake of doing it right now. Oh, whiff. Ew. Yeah, definitely on the list of things. Oh, saying that, that could be quite good. That would be +4, so that'd be 312. Is that a bit mental? I mean, I've had my numbers wrong. Ooh, okay. Okay, that was bloody good. Victory. Okay, yeah, I like Red Hulk in that situation. I mean, the weird thing for me is, when I was doing the preview video, I was saying about the potential of this as a 312. But in the back of my mind, I was like, you know what? I don't think that's going to happen too much. But that was literally the perfect draw at the perfect time. Okay. Because really, if it's off tempo, you've got to find an empty lane there. That's the challenge at the moment. Okay, Juggernaut, Horseman of War, Karen Page, Gladiator. Okay, I like the tempo here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, let's snap on it. Even if I got Kingpin, I'd be tempted to play Gladiator. Karen's on that list of cards I would like to play more. Even when she was a 4/5, I felt like I should have been doing more with her. You know, that's why there's a downside to him. Okay, so we're 2 out of 6 there, isn't it? Yeah. Alright, Glad, what you pulling? Fractured Frontier Doc Ock, okay. Venus. Very, very tempting to include a Cosmic Ghost Rider or something in decks like this. Got nothing to pull with Eitri, so I might as well just do that. Ooh, okay. Okay, that was a decent discount. Now... I think we play it there because it would be minimal downside at the moment. Play that there, because then we can eat tree. And we'll do this for now. And let's just do that for giggles. Okay, Iron Lad pulls their Red Hulk, which... that actually does increase, okay. I did benefit there in a way. Okay, so Juggernaut, Horseman of War should go up. We can do that. Do that, do that. Not enough, is it? Nah. Venus. And say Venus is alright. Ah. I feel like I saw some slander against the character the other day, and I was like, I think that was just someone who hadn't actually seen that show. Like, they'd just seen her pop up in the movies, and suddenly it's like, oh, we love it, Peggy Carter. And it's like, no, she really did boss her own show as well. I like this. When I saw that she was in the last 2 Mission Impossible movies, that bit of me was like, you know what? I'm glad she's got a big movie role, just because she sort of earned it, you know. I make that out as if the Avengers movies and whatnot aren't massive movies in their own right, but you get what I mean, you know. Go on, play Tarantula in case we get a higher power card like Glad on the board. Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't remember which one it is, but I know they did a crossover at one point. I still need to see the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay. So, all up to the last season, I think, or the penultimate season. I know I saw the season when they were in space, and that Felt a bit like they were jumping a shark, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't mind that, I was on board with it. But the last episode I remember was when Horseman was back. Just felt very odd. Ooh, okay. Actually, let's reverse them. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't bad really, but I think that the issue it came off the LMD season. Well, that season where it was like part LMD and then there was Ghost Rider and all that other stuff in it as well. So it went from like a really strong season to an okay season. You know we're not in draft mode right now, don't you, Snappy?
Definitely need to change my underwear.
I'm going to be doing it, but we're not in it right now this minute. Oh, right, okay. I'd have thought on stick because you want to get stick as big as possible. So the idea would be then you're going to double the benefits stick's putting out, where you're not restricted to it just being on Black Panther. That'd be my logic. Oh, hey up! Oh, up the Potters! The guy who everyone thinks is absolutely useless scored. Robert Bosnick. Come on, let me have a look at this. On YouTube, by the way, I apologise because you're not going to understand this in the VOD, but yeah. I'm watching my team play football and we did the unthinkable thing of actually taking the lead. Apologies, opponent, I'm not roping you. Hey, decent goal, that. Alright. Let's play Jug. Let's play Red Hulk. And we'll play that. Make them think we're going to challenge there. I thought there were going to be drops, but I don't know when. Oh, we can climb above that. Oh, Jug didn't trigger in time. Oh well. I feel like Red Hulk did well there again on quick draw. Okay, our opponent's playing the Thanoses. Is it Thanoses or Thanai? Okay, bit of a rubbish opening hand from a curve perspective. When I realised I've literally just changed one card in this deck from the one I was playing in midweek last week, and that is I've put in Red Hulk for Scorpion. And in a way, it probably is going to make this deck worse, but I did like the idea of self-affliction still being affliction. Okay, 5 energy. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of cool that I can play Infinite down. Almost feels rude not to, you know.
Hello, can you understand me?
Okay, we can do Spider-Man 2099. And honestly, I could probably move it and then play... actually saying that Blink wouldn't have a target. Yeah, we really top decked here. Okay, Surge. Nothing too crazy there. Okay, we top deck Red Hulk Fracture Frontier, so I figure we might as well do this. It'd be very nice if we pulled Ghost Spider or Zorn, so that I could then do one more combo. Actually, keeping that in mind, let's move Red Hulk. Kinda need it there, so let's put Polaris there and put Red Hulk there. Strange Supreme. I like the variant, by the way. Oh, hang on, has this got Destroy on it? No, okay. Oh, you... Yeah, they can move that 12 there and win that lane. Oh, don't try and snap turn 6. It really bugs me when people do it, because I'm like, you've just made my mind up for me to retreat. I am just sitting there going, should I retreat or should I just try and pride it out? And they immediately just give me the bullet to put in the gun. Okay, so Zorn's looking kind of cool. We haven't got a great target in hand, so I'm thinking we do potentially Spider-Punk straight away. Yeah, a bit of a funky one. I said it in the video that I did. I feel like Zorn is a slept-on card. Like, it's not crazy powerful, but it is still pretty powerful. Ah, jammy baggers. Full of equalized. And I am calling them jammy baggers without actually seeing the goal. The salt in me is strong. Okay, so Mary Jane and the Shield get a point. Go on, let's try that. I mean, there's absolutely no guarantee that... Oh, okay. There's a good chance I'll hit something. Am I going to hit one of them two or one of them four? And considering Venus is there again, I'm not feeling too sad about that. Alright, that's 5 out of 5 there. I'm feeling fairly good now that I can go like this. Well, no, not like that. Like that. We can do that, and we can do that. A lot of movement there. Braven, Hydra Stomper. I like the Hydra Stomper variant there. Polaris, Red Wing. Aranya's a bit of a lame duck. Okay, Cosmo's not great, but it's something. The trouble, I can do that, but then what? Maybe they think they've won a lane, so I don't know. I mean, that's going to really shoot down Brand New Day. Ooh, okay, Jane. Yeah, just nowhere near enough. I needed Blink, really. Blink could have... When I say Blink, I could have done with Infinite. I could have done with something big. My Galactus just hadn't had a chance to scale. I mean, you think we got to a 3-12 with Red Hulk. Okay. Ghost Spider, Polaris, Spider-Man 2099. Okay, skip turn 1. I have grown to like this variant. I think it's got a lot of neat little details. I was surprised when I was looking the other day that we haven't got more Spider-Man 2099 variants in the game. Felt like he was one of those that there was just a ton of, but I think it was that we had a ton of them related to how lame a character he was seen to be. Well, lame a card. Okay, Quinjet. We've got a Zorn down. Not entirely sure what they're playing. We could Red Wing, but I think that would be a little bit of a waste. How I figure we can play Spider-Punk into Shuri's lab. Maybe then go Spider it back in. Noir, well, not Noir, 2099 out. Oh, okay. Oh, wrong way. Let's do that, let's do that. I like the idea of Spider-Punk having a move of its own still. Alright, now that's an issue because I think that will actually prevent Polaris, yeah. And Gambit won't activate now. Yeah, bit of a shame that I killed Polaris off. Honestly, I think I go like that. Okay, so Red Wing gets doubled, moves. Okay, a little bit awkward that, but hey, that works. And then with Cosmo there, Linley goes left. That Linley doesn't copy. Mirage copies, but doesn't do much. All right, let's just survive the gambits. Oh, 2 power needed. And that is the irritating thing, because that Noir, or not, I keep wanting to say Noir, 2099, that went right on the Zorn move. And if it had just gone left, we'd have been able to pull a card with Polaris and we'd have had that little bit of space to get more power on the board. So yeah, a little bit irritating. Okay, end turn. Oh, okay, I think that completes down. Yeah, we're 3 games into this, damn. Let's play Zorn. Can I just say, by the way, YouTube, I am so sorry that I'm not responding to chat. Again, it's not showing up on my little thing. I haven't had an issue last week and then it's doing it again. So, Mark Steins, top dollar, I apologize for not actually responding to you. I'm going to have to really try and troubleshoot that. Just while I'm here, let's do this, I guess. Actually, no. Let's do that. To answer your question, top dollar, if you quit drawing me adds +1 note to your Red Hulk. So we have had a nice chunky Red Hulk so far as 312. Yeah, I'm not over the moon with that yet. Let's play that there. We'll play that there. And play that there. Feels like a really weird play line, that. Okay, that Iron Ladder's Merlin. That was coincidental, yes, but I'll take it. Polaris pulls Galactus, okay. A bit of a lame move, but I figure let's just get Cosmo left so that if there are any negative on reveals, we're not going to suffer from them. Plus, if it turned into, say, a Venom, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Okay, Alistair's alright. Okay, we got that polymorph. Well, there's one location this can go. I don't know if it's enough to actually saying that. Yeah, I'm going to play it like that, but I'm not even entirely convinced that's the best call. No problem. Yeah, honestly, I was a bit unsure myself, only because you're thinking, is it just for each, for like, if there are cards, essentially, but yeah, you have to double check, and it's just like, yeah,
Power must be controlled.
How rude. All right, how rude. Okay. But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting card. I mean, I'm probably really underperforming it with this deck right now. But the card itself does feel good when we've played it. The only reason I've chosen this deck Shall is because I like the idea of it being something that doesn't mind a bit of self-affliction. I mean, this run's been bad anyway, so let's just do one game with Akari and see how it turns out. But yeah, honestly, I'm going to do a video here with 15 games and across 3 decks, and I might as well do a mini deck here, if you like a 1-game deck. Just to try and nab that win, you know what I mean? All right, Uncle Ben. The mosh pit. All right, we're still a little bit top heavy at the moment. The hood. I kind of want to put Red Wing in mosh pit just in case to destroy Uncle Ben, but I think it'd be too late. Let's just go Spider-Punk. Careful what you wish for, punk. Carnage? Yeah.
Great power comes.
Man, oh man. You look how they gave Aunt May a proper ability and then they were like, yeah, you can just have that death note. Alright, let's Aranya there, and we will Cosmo there. Nico. Killmonger, okay. A little bit interesting. I'm going to assume they've got Muse in the deck. Oh, Starlight Citadel sucks. You know, you plan your moves around locations and suddenly it's like, nope, forget that. You know, I'm actually going to undo that. I was planning to play it like that, but I figure if we pull Blink, the worst thing is... Yeah, I don't mind that. Okay, so Weapon Axe, Death, Demon. Okay, Akari goes there. I've got no idea if that's going to be enough. Moira? That looks good to me. A little ghost spider out of a location. Decent. But yeah, I figured let's see if we can do something that's a little bit old-fashioned. A bit of Shuri Sauron.
This land can never be fully known.
Of course. Because we do love to lose our cards immediately. Let's play Squirrel Girl, why not? We are going to 0. They Ascarnison. And I'm just going to 0 this Red Hulk for the fact I don't want it to lose power. Although, I'm saying that. Potentially I could play it in an empty lane, but... honestly, I think it's just better getting rid of the negative. Like, it isn't the worst thing to 0 a Gladiator, you know? Not entirely sure what I'm going to do next turn. Okay, Jane Foster. Go back to it. I really dislike the change to Taskmaster. I was saying it the other day and I stand by it. Maybe we go for that. 2 energy left over, so it'd be a 4-11 there. Let's see. I mean, I'm fine with that. A bit of a shame that Cosmo didn't go in the same lane as Wilson. Going to be +2 there effectively. So we should really just go for the +3 there. I'm sure they will play left. Oh, they didn't. They have my Red Skull. Yeah, just a little bit unfortunate that. I mean, Weird World kind of screwed us from the off, but oh, again, just a little bit unfortunate. Nothing too crazy. Okay, Scapian. Scapiation. There's a point when you just say to yourself, don't try and say it. Alright, so Red Hulk will shrink if we play it in a lane with cards. More I need to 0. Other than that, we're doing alright so far. I was wondering if more would be a good Fractured Frontier card for death last week. The idea being you play it, destroy it, and then bring it back when you don't need to worry about playing around it. I like the idea, but I didn't fully like the idea of what would you do if you don't destroy it. Destroying the Hydra Bob was wild. I'm just gonna hold it. Okay, let's just play it out. They're most likely going to play a card here. So it's a 3-7 that... Oh, thank you. So yeah, we can now Shuri. Iron Lad is Doom 2099. We can Red Skull. I'm curious if Doombots can overtake a 28 power Red Skull. The issue is I really need to be able to get rid of that ongoing. Even if I got enchant, I can only get one of Enchantress or Zero. Ooh. All right, well, with that in mind, let's just do that. I've got priority, so I will Taskmaster. Okay, I mean, I just got BM'd for that, but, yeah. I think that's pretty solid. I mean, you think 26 to 17, that is pretty solid just for playing a couple of cards down. You know, like, it wasn't like the most complex of combos. I feel like I'm having bad luck today with the deck trackers. Like, Untap's now not keeping up. Okay, let's zero more. Mind Stone, that is Sinister 6 into, yeah. I did like that Sinister 6 deck that went out last week with the Crystal and whatnot. All right, Soulstone. Base Stone. Ooh, Muir Island, that's kind of cool. Apparently they think so as well. Reality Stone, I'm fine with that. I assume I was going to say, I'm assuming you're playing Strange, otherwise you're clogging up. Yeah, let's Magic. Gives us another turn to pull Shuri. Also, in all of these games so far, we haven't had a Sauron in the early turns. Someone's telling me we skipped that lane. All right, Jury. Got 4 cards in deck, 2 more draws. Shulk and Red Hulk would be the ideal pulls. Why do I feel like this guy's going to have Legion? Feels very much like a screw you kind of card that someone would have. I'm just politely trying to set up my combo and I get the feeling it's just going to be rudely interrupted. Jane Foster. And Absman, okay. Alright, 29 power Red Skull. Now, downside, we have not got priority. So all they need to do is play a Cosmo, or I don't really know, but Cosmo is definitely the one I would be reluctant to be having to beat. Such an old school playline, this though. This was in the game when I first started playing. Okay. You know what? Respect. And say Sinister 6 just got ahead of it. I actually completely forgot about them being in play when I was talking about Cosmo. Just having a look at the stats so far. Somehow Red Hulk's the MVP of this deck. Zero's the weakest. When we were doing Shadowlands earlier, Juggernaut was the MVP. Red Hulk was one of the worst performers. And because we didn't do well with the Fractured Red Wing deck, we haven't really got any good stats on anything. Okay. Here we got Tempo Sauron, nice. That gets rid of Typhoid and Red Skull. And more. Also, anyone think this could go back to a 1-3? I'm Patriot, okay. I think we can put in a challenge there. I mean, even if this loses 1 power, it's still a 3-7. 3-6 if they play 2 cards. Play it. Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. It is where you do have to try and factor in for the self-affliction, and I obviously haven't done it there. Let's just skip a turn, let She-Hulk float a little bit. I don't see the point in just playing a 0 for tempo. Maybe we could do Typhoid if we pull it next, or Shuri. Yeah, they won the right comfortably. Mirage gets the buff. That's kind of interesting. I don't mind extending. Oh, actually, saying that, is that a created entity? Yeah. Oh, and we'll extend the game. Lizard at well in the in that location. You know what? I think I float again. Oh, I'm saying that and I doubt it immediately because it's like, that is a lot to float. Yeah, I think we just go like that. Loki. Okay. Nah, I quite literally cannot win here. I mean, they would have to not play mid, and I would have to somehow bridge a 14 power gap on the right to win a tiebreaker. So, yeah, I'm out here.
Escape.
I needed Shuri a lot earlier. Yeah, 3 games, so 2 more to go here.
Opponent snapped.
All right, we've got a confident player. Sauron does its job. Can't just tempo out the Red Hulk, so unfortunately, we're holding. Times like this, I miss the old Sauron that would do hand and deck. Unfortunately, Red Hulk will take a bit of a hit whichever location it goes, so let's just play there. I'm hoping they go left because they want to destroy Wolverine. Well, really, I'm hoping to play Killmonger so that the squirrels aren't there to compete with what else is there. Okay, that's okay. Nothing too fancy here, it's got to be said. Let's float. Shield goes down to 2 then. And we could probably do Shield Lizard 0 or something. Actually, you know what? Let's play Lizard. Had a little change of heart. Oh, Scorpion. Wow. What the hell are you cooking? Never seen Scorpion with destroy cards. Not counting bots. I want to Shuri, but I can't get She-Hulk out at the same time. Let's just do that. Bucky Barnes.
Enough said, Bob.
I mean, it's a fair chunk of power. I'm not sure if it's enough to win with a null or something, but we can see. Yeah, I've got no idea what they were cooking, though. Oh, Hell Cow. Alright, respect for that. Okay, respect it.
Victory.
First time I've seen Hell Cow. Afflict all other cards here with -1, then destroy your cards here with 0 power or less. Then destroy your cards, right? So that's why my squirrel didn't get destroyed. Alright, that's kind of neat. Alright, we've got Sauron in the opening hand. I'm happy playing that out. Alright, sorry, skip that. I got a message about drops. No, I haven't. We'll just chat that. Like on that tick list of things I need to do. Are there actually drops, though? It's not showing up on my channel. Let me just magic over here. Nope. If there are drops, I can't see it, but I am skimming if you like, so... Okay, Typhoid is out in the open. Let's try it. The location of its own. We could potentially get the Enchantress in that lane. But now though, I think I skipped to let She-Hulk float down to 1 cost. Okay, they play Iska. Ooh. A little bit surprised they went that early with that. Let's go there. And actually, no, reorder this. Let's go there and there. A little bit unfortunate that I did the Enchantress there. Okay, 28 mid. Honestly, if that scales again, I can't beat it. Yeah, I mean, I can add 19, but not beat 48 there. Ah, that was a rough Iska. I mean, I'll play it out just for giggles, but... Like I say, I can add power, but another 24 there is horrendous on my side. Okay, so let's get into review. So as you can see, we played 5 games with Shadowlands Daredevil Hulk, and yeah, 5 games, 3 wins, 2 losses, negative cube rates. I'm post-infinite, so I don't worry too much about cubes, but I respect anyone who thinks, oh, that doesn't look good. If we just break into the stats just a little bit more, Red Hulk was on the weaker side of the stats in terms of performance, but I actually felt it was okay in this deck. So I'm not entirely sure where that's come from, but I actually did like the cook. So I would suggest if anyone's got these cards, or at least a couple of them, to try and give it a go, I would recommend this deck. Like I say, this is probably the one that I would be tempted to try, maybe my weekend missions. I always try to do something with both the season pass card and the card of the week, if you like. But if I want to just do a bit of Red Hulk on its own this week, then yeah, I would probably give this deck a go. So yeah, when it comes to Fractured Red Wing, first of all, I had to use on tap for this because for some reason, Snap Complete, which I have been using for a while, just didn't record half of these games. I actually haven't even synced my deck up, so it's not looking too great. But yeah, we went 4 games without a win, and I was thinking, I need a win. So that's when we subbed in Ikari. We did get the win. But yeah, when you're looking at the stats in general, 1-4, 20% win rate, down 5 cubes. I'm not going to recommend this iteration. I honestly thought the idea of Red Hulk for the self-affliction could be good. I just wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so as you can see here, we did 1 game with Crossbones. We didn't win it, and we were down 2 cubes. We then went on to use Magic, and we went 2 and 3. So overall 2 and 4. Again, not great stats. The cube rate was decent, 0.2. So again, I feel like this is a deck that you could probably do climbing with purely based on the cube rate. You know, if you snap aggressively when you know you've got a good hand, i.e. Shuri, Red Skull, Taskmaster, if you've got Shuri and you can afford to wait a turn to then do She-Hulk Taskmaster on turn 7, I would argue those are snap conditions because they are very hard numbers to beat. But if you can't output those numbers and your opponent snaps, it's probably worth retreating because, especially in the modern game, these numbers are going to be hard to beat. But yeah, that's it for this video, folks. If you're wondering why we did all 3 in one video today, it was simply because tomorrow we're going to be doing a video on my draft attempts on my live stream. I completely didn't realize draft was coming not this week when I did my preview video on Monday. So I want to make sure we did cover Red Hulk in a usual slot, but I do want to cover some draft on the channel as well. So you'll see a few of my draft attempts tomorrow. And then obviously Friday, as always, free to play Friday. So if you're interested in either of those, tune in for the next 2 days. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And until next time, folks, have a good rest of your day. Goodbye for now.